put it out there as organic, boost it, and then figure out from there how you want to run your ads.
Yeah. And ads will always have a different objective. So figure, like you said, Andres, yeah, like figure out the ads after. Don't start with the ad, because you're never going to feel good about it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Marketing on the Rocks. Samana and Andres here.
How's it going, everyone?
Another week.
Another week. It's been a good week. It's it snowed this week. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's April 22nd, so crazy times.
Earth Day's tomorrow, guys. Take care of it.
So today we're actually going to talk about organic versus paid advertising. And before we get to that, let me actually pull some whiskey real quick. Completely forgot to grab it.
Yeah, sorry guys, I won't be partaking with Andres today just because it's 420. Two things happened this week. It's also 420 happened this week. But yeah, it's 420 on Thursday, not on 420. And I'm fasting, so I guess that's also an oxymoron. I shouldn't be drinking while I'm Muslim anyway, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm fasting today. So basically the next 3 weeks, guys, just no whiskey from me.
It'll just be me.
So, cheers to you, man.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, and also cheers because you're a newlywed. So cheers to that.
Yeah. I'm here last 2 weekends ago.
Yeah. So paid versus organic. I don't think there needs to be a versus.
Yeah.
That's basically the step right there. Remove the versus altogether.
And I mean, full disclosure, I started off in the organic world, and that was all I did, just helping companies get the organic up. But this was several years ago when you could still kind of get that done pretty easily. You still were able to get some traction without having to put a bunch of dollars behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess everyone did have to start that way in general, including Facebook and Google and LinkedIn and everyone else that's out there. I mean, these companies also did it that route as well. And once they figured out how to monetize, they obviously like monetizing. So yeah, I think that's a key part, Andres, man. I mean, it's awesome, starting out that route. And it just sucks that all these companies just really take a lot of that, a lot of the real benefit of social media away from us by, making it difficult for organic to actually matter these days.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it creates the fads, right? I mean, LinkedIn is becoming big right now because video is organic on LinkedIn now, and it creates that fad there of everyone should be publishing on LinkedIn. And I guess TikTok. I mean, TikTok's another one where everyone wants to publish on TikTok because it gives you organic reach that is unheard of on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else.
And I would say that's probably the only place where organic can still get some true traction without anything behind it. If you have good enough content, you're going to be able to get traction.
Keep it short. Yeah, just a little tip on TikTok if you're going to go organic. They just came out with, they're a little late to the game on this, but ties in with our other videos on like ADA and American, Disability Act. They just came out with, like essentially AI-driven captions. I think that just kind of came out today. So yeah, you can get more reach with your TikTok videos organically. And I agree with you, Andres. Like, yeah, TikTok is probably the only place where organic will work well.
But it goes back to how long until they try to monetize it as well, because that's just kind of a cycle,
Yeah.
They get big enough and then they try to monetize it, and then something else comes along.
That's for sure. Yeah. And what's an interesting component here? Like, you got to look at everything. Like, companies out here, you got to look at every single channel and the whole omni-channel approach. You got to almost like consider how does this all fit into your like core beliefs as a company, right? So like my particular concept on organic actually ties in with email marketing as much as possible, because that's still one of your best sales channels out there. You know, people still, you know, people like you and I who cannot even do anything. If you have a list of, you know, 40 emails, it really hurts you. So you check everything, even if they are just stuff that you want to delete, you check it, right? So organic can be played through email marketing fairly well. And if you were to change your organic methodology, like keep publishing all your content on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and you know, run a paid strategy on top of that. But quite frankly, keep telling people to go to, like, you know, I'm gonna throw something completely out of the blue out here, like, but just go to our, like, you know, forum. And what companies have been doing these days right now, which is a very interesting piece, is they're turning their forums into Discord channels. They kind of like, you know, that look exactly like Slack, but they're Discord. That is a way to essentially turn your organic into charity, because you're giving away as much knowledge as possible. Um, and I think people get that kind of confused. They think of organic as that's what you're giving away as content, and then they burn out because they're not getting any value back. So
Mhm.
you got to get people that are even on organic off of, you're not going to get any response on it, right? So you can try to get them onto something where it actually does help you from a getting a response, or really a forum type of element. And you know, that used to be groups, it's now Discord.
Yeah. And I think also some Slack. I feel like some companies have been going that route with Slack as well.
Yeah. The only thing about it, if you do it the Slack route, is they then can still message you outside of the group. So
Hmm.
you just invite a whole bunch of freebies because you organically publish about it, and you put it into an email saying you offer a way to get advice through your Slack channel. They're still going to be able to take time away from your day. So that's why putting it on Discord, which is a separate entity altogether, helps from that particular component. Yeah, it's and interesting stuff to get about that particular perspective. But yeah, going back to like paid versus organic, and why it's really no versus, it's both. Um, you know, we can add a little whiteboard of what makes the most sense here, but you know, you would always want to publish organically anyway,
Hmm.
right? And what most people do is they boost those posts from their personal Facebook pixel or their personal Facebook ad account separately afterwards. And that still doesn't give them the results. And they say that's paid, which is true. It is paid. You're putting money towards it, but it's truly not paid. That's really just boosting an organic post. So yeah, you know, like keep that in your coffers as well. Like do that, but don't do it from your page, you know, like your personal Facebook pixel. Do it from your company, like business manager account. And you, if you don't have that set up correctly, make make a point on getting that set up correctly, because that's key in general, because you'll get better data. Even if only 4 people organically saw something, you're going to get better data if you have your business manager set up correctly, which is now, and you know, Andres, you and I like do this for even our own
And
clients and ourselves, is all changing again, because now you have to have a business suite before you even get to your business manager, which is a new feature of Facebook altogether.
so basically, for you guys that don't know, you have to have like three separate accounts within Facebook
Yep.
for it to be set up correctly. So it just takes some time, but really do the due diligence and try to, you know, make sure it's all connected and with the right pixel, because otherwise you're not going to get the right data, and you might not even be able to get the, you know, ads launched correctly.
Right. Yeah. So again, always start with just posting organically. do not ever put the link in the message or the caption or the post that you're about to do directly. Get that link in the comments below. And in my opinion, I don't think emojis hurt. Like, use them. It doesn't matter if it's a business. Use them. Make sure that people understand the pointing down. Get them to try to comment back. So don't ever make it a yes or no question, and keep the end of your organic post open-ended so people can respond back to you, even though they're not going to. And I'm just going to be upfront. Yeah, they're probably not, but keep it open-ended for that purpose. Once you've done that, though, that's where the paid part comes in, and you can boost it first, but turn it on to like once you boost it, turn it on to an ad altogether. So, the second part of a paid strategy after you boost something, because boosting is really not a paid strategy, it's just an optimization of an organic piece, would be to say, hey, Facebook, take this post that I published and turn it into an ad. And don't make that objective. And I might be going way into the weeds, but I'm going to lay it all out here, and we can go back and discuss it in detail later, because we'll probably make this a whole series. But make that objective on the advertising campaign when you go into Facebook not be conversion or lead generation. Make it more about reach, because there's different objectives on Facebook, and people kind of tend to overlook the reach because it sounds like you're paying money for people to just hit like, or respond to you. And yes, that's true. But again, that's better data for cheaper ads once you do the retargeting for, a campaign that is more for lead generation or conversion after. So yeah, those are like the two main pieces that you would want to do whenever you publish on Facebook or Instagram. It's not even just Facebook. I mean, but Facebook and Instagram, definitely do those pieces after, and that organic post will start, snowballing very quickly. And if you kind of turn yourself around and think about it from Facebook's perspective, if you log into your Facebook account, you're going to see that they have an option now where you can, checkbox, it's a checkbox saying like, do you want to turn automatically boosting on for all your posts? And Facebook then will recommend which ones should be boosted and which ones shouldn't. And I would recommend everyone to turn that on, because that's really their thinking behind it, right? Like they're saying they don't care about your organic posts. They want you to boost it. And they're going to tell you which ones do the best. So, you got to play their game and understand that that's really what you should do, because that's going to give you a good understanding of, which ones should be turned into ads. And again, there's a differentiation between an ad and a boost. And most people just don't get that. Cool, guys. So yeah, this is, I'm going to just kind of run into what I mean by this, right? So, I'm logged into our local chamber of commerce here. And, organically you would go here and, publish your post. Again, what I was saying earlier about Facebook really wants you to boost a post, because literally it's a toggle switch right here. So boosting it, setting aside a budget for boosting all the time is important. But they actually take it one step further. You can hit boost post here, but you don't even need to really worry about that. Like, you can, once you log into your, your business manager, there is going to be an option to like automatically figure out, tell Facebook which one should I boost. So again, we're going to post. I'm not going to actually post here just because I have nothing to actually post right now. But whatever the post would be, and we can do a follow-up video with maybe an actual post after. But we would put in the post, like, check this out, whatever. And I'm not going to actually hit post here. Once you do that, go ahead and boost it, especially if you don't have that automatic boost set up yet. Just go ahead and boost it because it will help you. And that's where the scratching of the surface of paid versus organic starts, right? Like, most people would consider this paid. And I'm not saying that that's paid. Like, yes, you're putting a budget behind it, but it's not paid. So that's step number one. Once you've done that, and I'm now, on the back end, I hit Ad Center here. And I'm on the, Rockville Chamber of Commerce's Ad Manager on the page, not on the business suite. I'm going to go into the business suite next. And you'll see that, when you have something boosted, this is going to at least show you like results. So this was boosted. It wasn't, cost per engagement's 83 cents. It wasn't much. So you can see how a boost actually helps. And you don't have to have a high budget. Like, this was just getting more post engagement through a boost. And it was only $10 total budget divided by 3 days. So you're spending like $3 to $4 a day. That's really it. And you can see how that's actually got you at least 448 people and have data behind it. So you can actually start tailoring your content between male and female. Instant article, which is a place on Facebook that, is going to give you results because you can see that that's the highest, versus a mobile app. So if you're on Facebook on mobile versus the web news feed or desktop, no one is doing anything on desktop, as you see. So you want to tailor your stuff, your content, to be bite-sized and more mobile friendly. So that's that right there. And then this is the other cool part about it is, boosting it does allow you to target, your demographics, even just from a locality perspective, right? This is Rockville, 25 to 65 plus, and interests of things that, a Chamber of Commerce probably needs to be reaching out to in general. So boosting is not paid, but it is useful because you're going to get better engagement. You're going to get better results. You would not see a number like 448 without. And it's funny because, I remember this one here. We did this back in Valentine's Day. We got essentially people saying, hey, we didn't really get much results out of that. And I beg to differ, right? Like, I mean, this is still 448 people did seeing that picture. Is it your fault or the post itself's fault or Facebook's fault if it didn't get engagement, right? And this is per post engagement. I'd suggest, or I'd say, because a lot of this goes into psychology versus paid versus, like psychology of paid versus organic means that you guys, everyone, all of us, like even us doing this video right now, has to show that we're putting a lot more effort into it. So pictures are great, but they're not as good as video. Video is going to do best. In this case, is a picture of a white box with a red ribbon, and I'm sorry for Chamber member for me to say anything about it. It's nothing against it whatsoever, but I would actually I would put a video out there of me holding a white box, or a business owner holding that white box, saying, maybe on a piece of paper with a question mark on it, saying, what is it? What do you think, Andres, is going to get better results in terms of engagement?
Yeah, definitely. As long as you have a face in it, and video is just, it's always going to be better than pictures.
Right.
But for you guys out there that are watching this video, if you are going to do pictures, try to make sure that you have somebody actually there. Faces will give you more results than just images of, objects.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, and actually just another piece of information here. This was another giveaway that was done, right? And you can see this is 12 and a 448 for this image here that was basically taken from an e-com site, versus this is $691 and $124 for post engagements for literally a picture that's honestly, I think, was just a stock image. So it wasn't even that much better, but it was a boost. Again, not a paid ad. It's long, it's mobile centric, and it just had a picture, but actually got better engagement and way more reach. And I'm going to be really upfront in this video here, but you can see it's a picture of a woman, nothing against anything here whatsoever. Again, we're just stating it as it is. There's nothing here on anything other than, women on the picture here did get 76% more men posting it. Just the stats, kind of interesting. And then you can go into placement, IG, Instagram, which the chamber doesn't do much with. I actually don't even think we published it on Instagram, but because we boosted it, which is not paid advertising, but it's still a boost, it did even go onto Instagram, and that got us the best results. And this is a typical IG kind of post, true, right? Like, you're going to see pictures of people or places on Instagram. So you can see why it's doing better there. So this is let's just call this the happy medium. If you're starting to put budget behind your organic, even on this, and let that snowball a little bit, so you keep a budget for yourselves to do this, you're then going to have better results once you start doing this part on your own, right? So this is the ad center. It used to be Facebook Business Manager, and Facebook Business Manager is out there, but is now part of the Facebook Business Suite.
And pretty sure, guys, you need to connect this one as well. So if you're getting, just started on this, make sure it's all connected.
Correct. Yeah. And again, this one is brand new. So most people probably should just go double check immediately and see if you have that set up or not. On the business suite, you can see that, both Facebook products, right? Facebook page and Instagram are connected here. You can create a post, you can create a story. You don't need to even create a story on your phone. You can create that story right here on Business Suite, which is a cool feature of it. And I'm going into organic first before I click on that promote button, which here it doesn't say boost, right? It's going to say create ad, because this is really where paid will start. Even though you're going to have boosting of a post and boosting an IG here, you don't want to be doing that part on this particular section, right? So you post your content organically and boost it here. Don't go to business.facebook.com and go to the business suite and boost things here. Keep that on automatic, or as you do the organic piece. When you do go to this particular section, and again, this is why all of this all works together, you would want to do a couple of different things to get you the best results. You want to get more people to contact, because all businesses want that, right? So that's one. Get more leads, get more website visitors, or purchases if you're an e-com store. So those are the ones you would want to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And that would be if you're doing a new ad once you have the boosted post done. And the reason why I say that is because this is a new ad, and you don't want to turn a boosted post. You should already have that boosted post done by this point. What you see below here is boosting existing content. And that's where, if you already have boosted the post on your personal, business page, that's where it kind of becomes more powerful, because if you've done it right and you have Business Suite set up and you have your pixel, you're now going to be able to get better traffic in general. On on things that have already been boosted or suggested. So this case here, look, our faces are right here in general, talking about that ADA thing we talked about earlier. This is one that we or the chamber would want to boost because we're going to actually at least get some data of what kind of results we're going to get. So you can start estimating things better. This case, the chamber actually published this without boosting it originally. So we can go back and now boost it ourselves. But we would want that data of what's been boosted and what's getting results way beforehand before you even get to this. Does that make sense, Andres?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Facebook really likes to change things up on us. So, going to all of these different posts here, we're all the way to April, and we boosted stuff back in February. That was the last time that this chamber did, or this particular Facebook page did any boosting. Right. So let's just go all the way back down to there to see that boosted post. Those two pictures that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see right here where it now says boost again, right? And this one here, it says boost again. There's data behind these two. So in this case, it's not going to make sense to do it again because it says Valentine's Day. But if it was a informational post, which all businesses should be doing these days, boost it again because you're boosting something that has 11 likes and everything's a snowball, right? So you're boosting something that has 11 likes and 1 comment, or in this case, 35 likes and 5 comments. And you're going to get way better results out of your organic piece doing it that way than if you started from 0.
Yeah, and one rule of thumb, I know this is a question I used to get all the time. I would always tell people you can recycle certain content, especially if you're going to boost it. And they're like, well, what's like the timeline? I always told people about 3 months. It's a good time because nobody's ever going to remember what you posted 3 months ago. We're bombarded with so much information that I think 3 months is, usually a good timeline for people. If you're wondering that, anybody watching this video.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one too. As long as it's, not time sensitive, like this Valentine's Day post or a deadline like this one here that was February 11th. Yeah, 3 months informational posts after you boost it once. And if you do that the first time, you're going to get results. You boost it again, that's $20 versus like $200 on an ad that's meant strictly for lead generation, because Facebook will charge you more for a lead generation ad that we were talking about earlier when you go into, creating an ad, and ads being separate than boosting, right? Like, so you want to do that first because you're going to get way more people engaging with your post. And then you can go in and create an ad for only targeting the people that did engage. So in this case, that Valentine's Day one had 25 people like and certain amount of comments, right? We can go create an ad that only targets those people. And then they have some other reason to be talking to you. And you don't want to be creating an ad with the same content that they've already engaged with. You would want to do a follow-up piece. And this is where like the rule of 7s come into play, right? Like, I know this sounds scary, but your organic content should be amplified 7 times on paid. That's a scary thought. But what I mean by that is amplified first. As soon as you post that organic, you boost it right away. You wait 3 days, you got content and you got data behind that content now. You boost again. So that's number 2. You keep commenting on your boosted post because Facebook's throwing money behind that commented boosted post, right? So commenting on your own posts and sparring people or trying or actively engaging people to be careful on what I meant by sparring, right? Like, but actively trying to get them to engage with you is still part of the rule of 7. You want to keep doing that because it snowballs. It's showing that you have way more comments, even if you're like 5 of the comments in that post. So that's number 3. Number 4, after you've done that, you're going to go look at the data, and you would want to create an ad separately on more of a call to action, right? Like this is going to be less of your informational piece. And even when you go create that ad, and we're at step 4 at this point, you don't want to basically hit them on the head right away on buy this product or buy this service, right? You would want to create an ad that's actually just giving away something for free. So that's why, the white paper piece or the downloadable something, give us your email address, right? Even if it's taking you to a landing page at that point, that's where that matters, because you're now using the Facebook pixel, which is a very powerful weapon for you that you can have on your landing page, and you're giving something away for free. So we're at step 4, right? Or touch 4?
That's 5.
That's step 5. Okay, great. Once you have that data, people actually got your free emails, right? Like free white paper, free downloadable. We're at step 6 now. That's the moneymaker part, right? So step 6, that audience there is the one you would want to create a separate ad that says, hey, for a limited time only, or hey, for the next 5 people. And you want to have urgency. I know it sounds cheesy and whatever. It doesn't have to be. It could be urgency because you don't have the time, and you can be vulnerable and you can be upfront with people and saying you don't have the time. So for the next 3 people, or for the next 2 days, we are running audits, or we're giving an audit for free, or we're having free phone consultations. Sign up because we only have 3 hours to do it per day, just as an example. And that might be way too much if you're giving away 3 hours, but whatever, you have 1 hour per day, and you're doing it for the next 3 days, right? Add that urgency for that list of people that have already got your download. You're going to pay less, right? Like it's not going to cost you as much on an ad, but this is where that paid strategy comes out of that organic, because that's 7 touch points. Your people that your audience is going to be for like step 6, that's ultimately going to get to next step, which is email follow-up, which is step 7, for people that have actually signed up and became leads for you, is going to be way cheaper doing it that route. So you could be, let's just say you start from beginning and you just go create an ad that says, for the next 3 days, I'm doing consultations for this piece. You haven't given them any content to work off of. You're going to get less results, and you're going to pay way more than $20. So if you had a $10 budget to start and a $10 to re-engage the boost, boost again, that $20 is way well spent compared to just running an ad separately on Facebook and Google.
So then how would you do, because I know you and I always talk about, like growing the email list and making sure you have people in your email list. Is there any way that you can, that really fits into just getting the leads for the email list, right? You're not using any type of paid for sending out the emails or anything like that, correct?
Because you're posting, about your email offer, right? Whether it's an ebook or whatever, you can do that as a paid ad in step 6 or step 5, like we talked about. But you would also want to keep that as an organic post as well. So I would suggest, running paid, which is separate from boosting, to grow your email list and make that your objective. And we talked about, creating an ad. The objective would be to get people to a page that has your email sign up. And that's key because that pixel will grow. Mm-hmm. So when you're growing your email list, you also got to remember that there's the inherent benefit of also growing your pixel.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that is just as strong because at least for the time being, um, we're living in an area where, or in a time, not an area, but a time where pixels and cookies are still usable. Facebook's starting to, hit you up. You can see even right here, I'm going to close this out, discard it, and hit promote. And even just go back here real quick. Close that. Go right here. Prepare your ad account for advertising changes coming soon. Right, and hitting learn more here. It's all changing. So the most important piece of all of this is do it now, and I guess count on us to keep giving you the new changes that are coming out, because I mean, Apple again this week changed something up. June is my guesstimate on when Apple is going to start saying, hey, Facebook, we're going to start putting pop-up notifications saying, that you are cooking people. And that is important for all businesses, because it's going to mean that you're going to need to do more organic and boosting of things to try to get them onto your email list and not matter as much on the pixel, because that email list is truly your information. It's not Facebook's information. So again, this is why organic and paid really go hand in hand. It's not really ever a versus.
Right.
Because you're going to have to play ball all the time, based on how quickly all of this is changing.
So what advice would you have to, the people out there that say, I've never done paid, I'm never gonna do paid? The business out there that are saying that.
My suggestion is that's fine. You're going to want to do paid soon. But start boosting. You go into that, maybe if you want to call it purgatory or intermediary, might be another better word for it, but go into that intermediary of boosting your organic. Start seeing that you got comments. And the biggest advice, since you asked about that, would be boost it 2 times. Don't boost it once. And that's going to show you the results of doing paid, because you're going to get that compound interest type of effect, right? Like if all of you guys understand compounding interest in the world of investment, think of it the same way. It really will help you kind of understand that small deposit on boosting will probably get you hooked on the paid. So, just get started on that, and you're going to understand that paid actually does have value, even if you swear off of it. You're going to see that people are commenting on you, and social media is just that. It's kind of a chain reaction. You're going to feel good about yourself when people are commenting, which is going to make you want to do more. And I know we've been hitting a lot on Facebook and Instagram. And when I'm looking at Facebook right now, I'm always combining Facebook and Instagram. And we talked a little bit about TikTok and being more organic there. For LinkedIn, they're just starting their whole studio or their creator kits. So LinkedIn now has product pages, which is huge. It's great. So all of us businesses should have products now on LinkedIn. That's step 1 in LinkedIn's really late monetization game, right? And step 0 for them was to actually open up content creation in general, like actually uploading video and all this other stuff, like giving us the ability to do video. So you might be one of those companies that said, hey, we're kind of late to the LinkedIn game, and now everyone that's messaging us is basically a salesperson. That's true. It's probably going to be the case. But start doing it now anyway, because LinkedIn's paid, which should be more valuable for us businesses anyway, right? It's just not at this particular point. Is going to start becoming more valuable soon, and they're making the right steps to do that. I wouldn't recommend going into the paid side of LinkedIn yet. Using that same 7-step formula that we just talked about. that we talked about on Facebook and Instagram. You don't need to do that on IG, but if you did, man, that compounding interest of organic content is going to be crazy. And you might get invited to be a creator on LinkedIn. And when they really start, cleaning up their advertising side of things, their monetization side of things, you're probably going to be in a very good spot to clean up. So I still suggest doing the same thing on LinkedIn if you have the time. The beauty of it is you don't need to, come up with a whole different terminology, right? For that 7 steps, it was really minor tweaks, right? Like the second post was after the first post was boosted, the second post was more of a direct engagement asking to get information on your white paper. And that still works well on LinkedIn. I mean, that actually probably would do better on LinkedIn because
Right.
those are people that are more valuable to you. So do it. You're probably not going to see the paid results as much, but you still can post it on it organically. And LinkedIn's algorithm is so organic centric still right now that you're going to see inherent value to it. And then the third one's just asking for the lead right away.
Mm-hmm.
So do that anyway. And once paid starts becoming more powerful on LinkedIn, you're already in the habit and you're already going to get the better results out of it.
And it will become more powerful.
It's
It
going to.
happens. Yeah, it just happens with everyone.
They're not running charities, right? Like, I mean, Microsoft is not running a charity here, so they're going to monetize it. They're just really late to the game on it, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, but I feel like they have something planned.
They
Like
do.
when companies that big are late to the game, there's something going on behind the scenes. So I'm excited to see what that is.
Well, I can tell you what that one part of it is, right? Like, and I obviously have no crystal ball or, have insider information, but there was a tool on LinkedIn called, not Sales Navigator or any of those, but like there was an option to, bid on things, right? Like get invited to bid. It was called ProFinder, LinkedIn ProFinder.
Mm-hmm.
That was their early beta stage, Microsoft's early beta stage, to see who's engaging with it, to really go after the gig economy. And what I mean by that is you got Fiverr, you got Upwork. What else? I mean, those are the 2 big ones at this point. But you got these like gig services companies that are out there, right? Like again, Fiverr, Upwork, all these guys. LinkedIn in September is about to do the same thing. So it's not going to be just us marketers that are going to want to sell our video editing skills and whatever. It's going to be accountants. It's going to be lawyers. It's going to be everything, all on LinkedIn, all being available to you. And you want to get ahead of that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's, the earlier you can get in there, the better off you're going to be.
Right.
And things are changing so much all the time that really at any point that you get in, you're better off than not doing it at all.
Right.
And I think that's the main point of this video. You want to be able to go in there and just, even if you think it's not, your best work, just put it out there. Put it out there as organic, boost it, and then figure out from there how you want to run your ads.
Yeah. And ads will always have a different objective. So figure, like you said, Andres, like figure out the ads after. Don't start with the ad because you're never going to feel good about it. You're going to be throwing a lot of money and you're not sure what kind of results you'll get. So the paid on the ads is really for another time.
Yeah.
And it's also very specific to your own organic post. So,
but you're not going to have that information until you do the organic post. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all chicken versus the egg thing, or chicken or the egg, not versus, because we're not talking about versing anything here. Yeah. So consistently do it. I think other places that you can start seeing results because it's so like new is actually on YouTube as well, right? Like, a lot of businesses are not touching YouTube yet. It's obviously, made a lot of damage in general, and people are starting to like understand that YouTube is powerful. But you can kind of do the same thing there. You can post your full video on YouTube, take a snippet of it and turn that into an organic post on Facebook, take a snippet of it, put a different snippet on LinkedIn, all from the same piece of pillar content, if you want to call it. And we should have a whole conversation on what pillar content really means, because it does mean something different.
Mm-hmm. We can make that our next video.
That could be our next video. Yeah. But yeah, so don't neglect YouTube, because that's also extremely, organic from another perspective too, right? You can put it on your website as embedded how-to videos if you're a product on, or even a service, like how to fill out your, I don't know, your tax papers if you're an accountant. Have that as a whole how-to section on your website. You're going to get immediate responses and immediate views that way. And that's an organic feature that actually you can't do on Facebook or IG, because you're not going to post or embed a Facebook post on your website. You'd look really terrible doing that. I don't think you can. You can take a screenshot, I guess, but that's it. So yeah, that's another benefit of organic right there. And boosting on YouTube and paid on YouTube is a whole different ballgame that gets way different results, especially right now because it's just on new.
Mm-hmm. And you have, something a lot of people don't realize about YouTube is they feel like they have a lot of competition, but as businesses, not so much. Businesses that are doing it right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but they're doing it right just means starting in this case, right? Like just get more videos out there, and I mean everything can be a video. It could be a how-to on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the starting point on paid and organic. And again, it's definitely not a versus. I think if that's the first takeaway, that would be huge. And then the 7 steps are just as powerful, because it's going to give you, that snowball, that compounding interest effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.